Hi, my name is Katie. I'm 21 years old and I'm a third year student at AUT University, specialising in Montessori. I grew up on the North Shore of Auckland with my mother and father until recently when I began flatting with my sister and her 12-year-old son. She is one of my 5 older sisters who currently have 11 children between them. My first experience with children was when I was 6 years old and became an auntie. Prior to that, I was always playing with my dolls, taking on the role as their babysitter. As I got older, my parents were very involved in my nieces and nephews' lives, so I was able to learn firsthand about the needs of a child, changing nappies and making up bottles. But I also learned the importance of care and love in their lives and how it affected them. Skills such as getting down on the child's level and playing and talking to them were always demonstrated to me. I believe it was these experiences that led me to want a career where I was able to work with children. When I was in high school, I was given the opportunity to take a child development class, which further sparked my interest in children and early childhood education. It was through that course that I was able to do a placement in an early childcare centre, and I was able to learn what childhood education was truly about. After this experience, I knew I had a strong interest in young children, but I was unsure of where I wanted to go from there. So I sent a request to numerous early childcare centres on the North Shore, asking if I could do volunteer work in their centres so I could go and get a feel for what the working environment was like. Natural Steps Early Learning Centre in Albany was the first to apply, and they encouraged me to come and see their centre at work. For 2 weeks I spent time with all age groups, observing both the teachers and the children and helping out where I could. After that experience, I knew early childhood education was my calling in life. From high school, I went on to attend Ashton Warner Nanny Academy and gained a New Zealand certificate in nanny education. Through that year, I was able to learn about home management, infant care, child development, early childhood education, safety, professional development, and health and nutrition. We were also expected to complete 5 practicums, 3 in a home environment, 1 in a school, and 1 in an early childcare centre. This experience confirmed my interest in the early years of childhood, and I was able to practice what I had learned throughout the course. I also worked in the afternoon at Natural Steps, so every day I was able to apply the theory that I had learned in a practical environment. It was also an opportunity to ask the teachers questions about what I was learning to gain a better understanding of how it worked in a centre environment. By the end of that year, I had made my decision to further continue my education in early childhood and applied for the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education at AUT University. Throughout my first year, I was nannying 2 children, one of which was attending a Montessori centre. Picking her up after school gave me a glimpse of what Montessori education was all about. I didn't understand it, but I was intrigued to say the least. However, at this time, I realised that childcare was all I had pursued. What if 6-year-old me had got my calling wrong? What if I was only doing this because my sisters had children and I wanted to somehow be the same? Filled with self-doubt, I decided to take a gap year and took on a job that was as far away from childcare as I could think of. I began working in retail. While I loved the job, getting to interact with people all day was a big plus for me. I quickly noticed that it was the children that I was drawn to, the ones who came into the store, giving them extra attention and being overly helpful and chatty to the parents. And over time, I recognized that childhood education was definitely where I wanted to focus my energies. My second year of university was unbelievable, as it felt like I was truly in my element. Childhood education was my passion, and I am so glad that I found it and be able to work with it. However, towards the end of the year, I felt like I wanted to push myself further. I wanted to learn and understand more. And that's when I remembered the centre where I used to take the girl I nannied for. Intrigued by Montessori, I wanted to learn more. It was, what it was, how it worked, and when I found it, I could take it as an elective in third year, I was sold. I am really enjoying learning about Maria Montessori and her philosophy of childhood education, and I can't wait to start practicums and continue with my bachelor this year. By the way, while ECE studies are a big part of my life, I have lots of other interests too. I'm part of a team of mainly young people who are establishing a new church in the central city. My dad and I volunteer several nights a week, helping those people who are less fortunate than ourselves. I love my family, but especially I love my animals, and I have a 7-month-old puppy named Serenity. I enjoy nature, and you'll often find me at the beach. I also love rugby, and I'm a keen blues fan. Thanks for watching.